Hi everyone, it's Ray Gaucher back with you once again. Welcome to another edition of After God's Own Heart, part 2 of In the Eye of the Storm. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a part 2, but I think it's the right thing to do now, considering what's been going on for the past 48 hours with me. You'll remember in my last video, I was sharing with you the storm that I'm dealing with. And I kind of mentioned to you and told you that I felt like I was in the eye, where things were a little calmer, but still a little hectic, but still calmer, compared to when the eye wall passes over. It gets really nasty. And I also mentioned to you that I had a feeling, because I was in the eye, that the other side of the eye wall still had to pass over, and it could get a little nasty. And you know what? I was right. When I finished my reset, in Calgary, I got into my truck, I fueled up, and I loaded up with whatever I had to take to Saskatoon, and I began my journey here. I'm in Saskatoon now. And on the way from Calgary to Saskatoon, it was very, very nasty. I was really seriously being attacked. I was being attacked with emotions, thoughts, fears, everything you can possibly think of. And when we go through these storms, we don't understand why we're going through them. We do know that the Lord allows these things to happen because there's something He's doing. We can't see what it is. We don't have that perfect wisdom, that perfect insight that He has. It would be nice to know why He does certain things, and I don't think it's a wrong thing or a bad thing for us to ask what what He's doing. So I made my way to Kindersley, and during this entire time I'm going through this attack, and I'm trying to ignore it. And they hit me at stages. Excuse me. These little things would hit me in stages. There'd be maybe an hour pocket where I'd feel fine, and then all of a sudden it starts hitting me again. And then when I got into Kindersley, I pulled over because I wanted to get a bite to eat. And I'm telling you, man, I felt like Rocky that win 15 rounds with Mr. T. I was so exhausted, so drained, and I was still being attacked. It got so frustrating that I stopped and I sat right here in my seat, and I'm looking up through the skylight and I'm saying, help me. I'm yelling this. I'm crying this out with my voice, and there's emotion with me, and I'm saying, help me. Can't you see what's going on? Where are you? Please help me. I can't do this anymore. And then again I said, please, where are you? And I'm crying out to the Lord. And I kid you not, before the last word, just after seconds, milliseconds after the twinkling of an eye, let's use that reference, the twinkling of an eye of the last word that I said, it all stopped. It was like someone flicked a light switch. Do you remember when the apostles were in the boat with Jesus, and the water started raging and the wind started to pick up, and they literally thought they were going to drown? This must have been a really nasty storm that they were in. And they started getting paranoid, and they said to Jesus, Jesus, Master, Rabbi, do you not care that we're going to perish? I can just imagine Jesus opening His eyes and looking at them and saying, you have such little faith. You have no faith. And when He said, be still, to the water and to the wind, everything calmed instantly. And they were like, wow, who is this man that even the wind and the sea obey Him? When I cried out, help me, Lord, and that relief came, it was almost like Jesus said to whoever was throwing the fiery darts, whatever demonic force was out there that was attacking me, it was almost like He said, enough. All right, that's enough. He's reached his... That's enough. Leave him now. He's reached his boiling point here. He can't take any more. Leave him alone now. That's what it felt like. It felt like I was in an alley and I was being ganged up on by a bunch of thugs, and some big man came up and said, leave him alone now. That is it. That's his limit. Leave him. He can't take any more. I will not allow you to do this anymore now. Leave him. And they just disappeared. That's what it felt like. The Lord heard my cry, and he rescued me from my despair. A lot of the time, and then from there I just like, wow. And then since then I have felt a strength. It's like I've been on a spiritual tranquilizer. I have felt a strength. I mean, I'm still dealing with nothing. You know, it didn't cure everything. It didn't make me feel nothing. It didn't make everything go away that I was feeling before. It's still there, but I can tolerate it now. I can deal with it right now. And there's something that I need to remember. I need to remember that that the Lord allows this stuff to happen. And he also puts a stop to it. And if there's a reason why we're going through this, if there's a reason why you're going through this, God is doing something. We can't see it. We don't understand the big picture. If we're dealing with something and we've been dealing with it for a very long time and we don't understand why the deliverance hasn't come yet, or the freedom, or the peace, he's doing something. And I don't think there's anything wrong with asking him what it is he's doing. It's probably better than why. But what is it you're doing, Lord? What do you want to teach me? What do you want to show me? So the reason why I'm making this particular video, this is a testimony to tell you that God does hear prayer. Maybe we just need to cry out with a little bit of desperation in our voice. I don't know, but it worked for me the other day. But he heard me. And God is faithful. He's wonderful. So if you're going through a storm right now, if you're going through a trial, hold on. Cry out to God. If you're still going through it, there's a reason for it. He's trying to teach you something. He knows you can get through it. He knows you can handle it. And when it gets to the point where you can't handle it, he will say to the enemy, because he is the king, he is the boss, he has the last word. He will say, enough. He or she has reached her limit. No more. Leave them alone. He will do that. He's not going to let us sit there and suffer. And I'm thankful for him. When I was going through that rough time when I was in Kindersley, when I got into Kindersley, I really felt like I had a bodyguard watching over me. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. I wanted to close this video with a poem that I've read before on my videos that I think really applies here, and I hope it helps you too. Because when we're going through these rough moments, we don't feel God is there. He is there. He's getting us through it. He's teaching us something. Again, we don't understand why or what's going on, but he's there. One night I had a dream, and I was walking along the beach with my Lord. Across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene I noticed 2 sets of footprints in the sand. One belonging to me and one to my Lord. After the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that at many times along the path of my life, especially at the very lowest and saddest times, there was only 1 set of footprints. This really troubled me, So I asked the Lord about it. Lord, you said once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I noticed that during the saddest and most troublesome times of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I don't understand why. When I needed you the most, you would leave me. He whispered, my precious child, I love you and will never leave you, never, ever, during your trials and testings. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. Footprints in the sand. When you're going through your tough moments, when you're going through rough times, remember, when you feel alone, you're not. Because during the time he's the quietest, that's the time when he is the closest to you. And that is the time when he's carrying you through your storm, through your trial. God bless all of you in the name of Yeshua. Please pray for me. I'll be praying for all of you. Bye for now.